Hello and welcome to Impact History. Today we are diving into the Punic Wars, the impact they had on the ancient world, and ultimately the impact this ancient war had on the development of modern society. The Punic Wars were a series of epic conflicts that pitted two ancient superpowers against each other, Rome and Carthage. These wars spanned over a century, from 264 BC to 146 BC. They were marked by fierce battles, brilliant military tactics, and ultimately, the complete destruction of one civilization by another. The Punic Wars were not just about territorial gain. They were a struggle for supremacy in the Western Mediterranean. The outcome of these wars had a profound impact on the course of history. Rome's victory paved the way for its transformation from a regional power into a vast empire that dominated the Mediterranean world for centuries. The Punic Wars stand as a testament to the human cost of conflict, the allure of power, and the enduring legacy of ancient civilizations. Before delving into the tumultuous events of the Punic Wars, it's essential to understand the backgrounds of the two protagonists. Carthage, founded by Phoenician settlers around the 9th century BC, rose to prominence as a maritime power. Its strategic location on the coast of North Africa, in modern-day Tunisia, gave it control over vital trade routes in the Mediterranean. The Carthaginians were renowned for their naval prowess, their vast trading network stretching across the Western Mediterranean and beyond. Rome, on the other hand, emerged as a powerful force on the Italian peninsula. Founded, according to legend, in 753 BC, Rome gradually expanded its influence, conquering neighboring tribes and establishing its dominance over central Italy. With a strong military tradition and a disciplined citizen army, Rome proved to be a formidable opponent. By the 3rd century BC, both Rome and Carthage had become major powers, their ambitions inevitably leading to conflict. The First Punic War, lasting from 264 to 241 BC, was sparked by a seemingly insignificant event on the island of Sicily. A group of mercenaries, known as the Mamertines, appealed to both Rome and Carthage for help in a local conflict. Rome's decision to intervene marked a turning point in its history, for it signaled its willingness to project its power beyond the Italian mainland. The First Punic War was largely a naval conflict, a domain where Carthage initially held the upper hand. The Carthaginians, with their superior shipbuilding techniques and experienced sailors, inflicted several early defeats on the Roman fleet. However, Rome, with its characteristic determination and adaptability, quickly learned from its mistakes. The Romans developed a new weapon, the corvus, a boarding bridge that allowed them to transform naval battles into land battles, where their superior infantry could prevail. The First Punic War ended in a Roman victory, securing their control over Sicily, which became their first overseas province. Hannibal's legacy, the Second Punic War. The Second Punic War, from 218 to 201 BC, is arguably the most famous of the three wars, largely due to the military genius of the Carthaginian general, Hannibal Barca. Hannibal, driven by a desire for revenge against Rome, launched a daring invasion of Italy. Instead of sailing directly across the Mediterranean, he led his army, including a contingent of war elephants, on an arduous journey through Spain and Gaul, crossing the Alps in a feat of military logistics that has become legendary. Hannibal's campaigns in Italy were marked by a series of stunning victories against Roman legions, notably at the Battle of Cannae in 216 BC. His strategic brilliance and tactical acumen inflicted heavy losses on the Romans and shook their republic to its core. However, despite his battlefield successes, Hannibal was unable to deliver a decisive blow against Rome itself. The Romans, refusing to be defeated, adopted a strategy of attrition, avoiding direct confrontations with Hannibal's army while gradually wearing down his forces. Scipio Africanus and the fall of Carthage, the Third Punic War. The Third Punic War from 149 to 146 BC marked the final and tragic chapter in the long struggle between Rome and Carthage. By this time, Carthage, weakened by defeats and heavy indemnities imposed by Rome, was a shadow of its former self. Roman senators, fueled by a mixture of fear and resentment, saw Carthage as a lingering threat that needed to be eliminated. The Third Punic War was a one-sided affair. Roman legions, led by the general Scipio Aemilianus, besieged Carthage for 3 long years. When the city finally fell in 146 BC, the Romans showed no mercy. Carthage was razed to the ground, its surviving inhabitants sold into slavery. The once great maritime power was wiped off the map, its territory becoming a Roman province called Africa. The aftermath: Rome's ascendancy and Carthage's demise. The Punic Wars had a profound impact on the ancient world. For Rome, victory ushered in an era of unprecedented power and prosperity. With Carthage removed as a rival, Rome became the undisputed master of the Western Mediterranean. The spoils of war, including vast territories, resources and slaves, flowed into Rome, enriching its treasury and fueling its expansionist ambitions. However, the Punic Wars also had a transformative effect on Roman society, leading to social and economic changes that would have long-lasting consequences. For Carthage, the outcome was catastrophic. The once proud city lay in ruins, its people scattered, its culture and heritage largely obliterated. The destruction of Carthage serves as a stark reminder of the brutal realities of ancient warfare and the fleeting nature of power. Conclusion: the enduring significance of the Punic Wars. The Punic Wars stand as a pivotal chapter in ancient history, marking a turning point in the balance of power in the Mediterranean world. They witnessed the rise of Rome as a dominant force, shaping the political, cultural and linguistic landscape of Europe and beyond. The Punic Wars also offer valuable lessons about the nature of conflict, the importance of adaptability, and the enduring legacy of ancient civilizations. The Punic Wars continue to fascinate and inspire, reminding us of the human capacity for both greatness and destruction. By studying these ancient conflicts, we gain a deeper understanding of the forces that have shaped our world and the enduring relevance of history to our own time. Following the conclusion of the Punic Wars, the Mediterranean region underwent a profound transformation. Rome emerged as the unrivaled superpower, its influence extending far beyond the Italian peninsula. The destruction of Carthage left a power vacuum that Rome swiftly filled, leading to its expansion across North Africa, Spain, and eventually into the Eastern Mediterranean. The Roman Empire, now bolstered by its victories, began an era of unprecedented growth and consolidation. The wealth and resources acquired from former Carthaginian territories fueled Rome's ambitions, allowing it to build monumental architecture and enhance its military capabilities. The Roman Republic gradually transformed into an autocratic empire as leaders sought to control the vast territories and maintain order. Trade routes were re-established and expanded under Roman control, fostering economic interdependence and cultural exchange. The spread of Roman law, language, and customs created a more unified Mediterranean world, laying the foundations for what would become the Roman Empire's lasting legacy. The Punic Wars serve as a testament to the complexities of power, the consequences of conflict, and the enduring impact of historical events on the world we live in today. As we delve deeper into the Punic Wars, it's essential to understand the military strategies employed by both Rome and Carthage. Carthage, a maritime powerhouse, relied heavily on its naval superiority. Their fleet controlled sea routes and launched amphibious assaults. The Carthaginians employed swift ships to outmaneuver enemies. Hannibal Barca's crossing of the Alps with war elephants was a brilliant maneuver. Rome excelled in organization and discipline. Their legions were characterized by rigorous training and cohesion. Rome built a formidable fleet incorporating captured Carthaginian ships. Rome's strategic persistence led to Carthage's downfall in the Third Punic War. The military strategies of Rome and Carthage highlight the strengths and innovations of both civilizations. The Punic Wars were not just military confrontations, they had profound cultural and economic ramifications for both Rome and Carthage. For Carthage, the aftermath was catastrophic. The city, once a thriving center of trade and culture, was reduced to ruins. The Carthaginian economy, heavily reliant on maritime trade, was decimated. Rome, on the other hand, emerged as the supreme power in the Mediterranean. The wealth and resources acquired from Carthage fueled Rome's expansion and prosperity. The Roman elite grew richer, while the influx of cheap labor disrupted traditional agricultural practices. Culturally, Rome absorbed and integrated elements of Carthaginian culture, enriching its civilization. The Punic Wars also marked a turning point in Roman attitudes towards conquest and imperialism. These wars reshaped the cultural and economic landscapes of both Rome and Carthage. Thank you for taking this journey through history with us today at Impact History. Please like, subscribe, and follow us for more stories from the halls of Impact History.